Hello, everybody out there. My name is Telokan, and then I have a story to share. The story is actually one of those stories I read on Macmillan Primary School series, probably the 1980 something edition. So I'll be sharing the story I read from it. It's one of the most exciting one of them. So the story is Byron, the Quiet Boatman. There was this man. He had a kind of boat, a big one. He used to sail the Niger up and downstream, getting goods from Absaba, Onitsha, down the delta. He will get goods from downstream, and then he's gonna go sell it upstream, and then get goods upstream, and then go sell it downstream. He was just trading that way. So he used to cheat his boatmen. Like he's gonna say, how about you get a chicken or a livestock, probably a turkey, a goose, a goat. And so when you consent and you buy it, he's gonna tell you he will feed it all through the journey, and he's not gonna tell you it's included in your wages. Like when you get into the middle of the Niger, he's gonna say it's better you throw away your sheep or your goat or your whatever you got there. He will say he never bargained with you that he will be feeding your livestock, that he only say he's gonna feed you in person and pay your wages. So your chicken's consumption and blah 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 is from your wages. And so he used to do this often and often and often. He's been robbing his boatmen for quite a long time. And then one of his boatmen fell sick. And so he needed to do a replacement. And he now sought for a boatman, and then found out that there is this guy, Baron, that was free. He wasn't a boatman for some other person. So he now hired Baron after they had bargained for the wages, and they had an agreement. All through the voyage, Baron was just quietly sitting by one side of the boat, doing his job, while the other boatmen were bitterly complaining how this man robbed them of their wages. And then sometimes he's going to ask you to buy this or that, buy that. And then one of them say, Baron, I will bet you if you try it, he's going to cut your pay. Don't do it. Whenever he say, get this, don't get it. Because if you do, he's going to cut your pay. And so Baron was, okay, I've got your words. I ain't going to do it. I'll just follow what you said. And that was how it was. But then, Baron also has his own reason. And so slowly and slowly and slowly, Baron was studying and studying. So they went up and down the voyage. And then the man now approached him and said, Baron, we've been traveling and then we've been trading all along. How about you get yourself a chicken? Probably when you come upstream, chicken is expensive upstream. You can get it cheap downstream and then you sell it expensive upstream. How about that? Isn't it a good idea? And Baron was like, yeah, it's a good idea. I would have preferred it. But then I'm just kind of hesitating to do it. He said, why? He said, because for now, I don't really have that interest. And then some other time, he now came again, and Baron gave him some excuse. And after a while of studying him, Baron now found out that this man can gamble, like he do gamble. So Baron decided to gamble with him, and he said, I've got this sword. The handle is made from a ram's horn. I bet you this sword is a magical sword. And if I throw it down into this Niger, mark the side of the boat, which side it fell, when we come back upstream, you find out that the sword, I'll dive in and I'll fetch it. Like, that was a kind of a Herculean task. How you gotta throw a sword into this river and then you come back to fetch it again after many days. So it was kind of a win for the man. So he now said, if you throw the sword in and we come back and you fetch it, good. My cargoes, my boat is all yours, and everyone that's working under me. So you're gonna be the sole owner. And Baron now asks, what if I cannot fetch it? He said, you're going to work for me for free for the whole of your lifetime. So Baron thought about it and said, no problem, I agree. And then it was the oath of the boatman. Once you've made an agreement on the sea, and then you come back to the point where the agreement was made, and then you perform the oath, the defaulter is going to pay the fine. And then that was it. They agreed, and then they went downstream. Baron marked the side of the boat and threw in the sword. And after many days, Baron came back home again, like upstream. He bought a chicken this time around. And so as they were selling upstream, unaware to the owner of the boat that Baron had an identical sword, the same size, the same height, the same decals, the same horn as handle, the same design. Like everything was actually the same. Like if you see, if both of them are displayed, you would think it's a kind of a duplicated copy of it, but they were just identical. So unaware, Baron had hid this under his clothes. So when the man now got to the point, and I said, Baron, we are here, stop. Let's go and finish the agreement we started. Baron said, okay, no problem, I'll go fetch it now. He now look at everyone and he dived into the river. And then he waited a couple of minutes under, and then he now pulled out the sword under his clothes. Then swam up again to the surface and he was helped into the boat. To the greatest surprise, here is the magical sword. He gave it to everyone to examine the same way they did the first time. Everything identical. Not even one jot, like, pop, that differentiated it. Like, my man, crazy. It was like, what are you telling me? He had thought Baron is going to lose, so he make Baron a lifetime slave. He wanted to change the bargain, but the whole boatman said no. The boatman's vow is the boatman's vow. You made an oath, you got an agreement, you got to pay for it. And then Baron says, I'm not a wicked person. From now hence, this boat belongs to Baron, and I'm going to do a favor by just selling you across the Niger. And when we get upstream, I need you to get off my boat and never come back again. That was how he lost his whole properties. And then when the story spread among the residents, they all begin to cheer and praise Baron. Like nobody thought the timid and the quiet guy could be so wise. So they changed his name from Baron the Quiet Boatman to Baron the Wise Boatman. So Baron won, and the man went home empty-handed. Alright, so this is where I wrap the curtain for today's story session. I would really love y'all to tell me what you learned from the story in the comment section. Okay, so I ain't gonna give you a story and still give you the moral lesson. Someone should give us a moral lesson from what you learned in the story. Until I come your way next, I would still love you to stick around my page and channel, cause Taylor, I can. And I'm rooting for you. Till I come your way next. Bye for now.